Herbalism in classic World of Warcraft is one of your more lucrative primary professions that you can learn. Hello everyone, my name is Icosiel, and today I'm going to show you nearly everything you need to know about the herbalism profession. This guide is meant to be viewed while you're both in and out of the game, so I have included timestamps in the description below so that you can jump to the information that you need. In this guide, I will be covering the following topics regarding herbalism. In classic WoW, you have three primary professions that are considered to be gathering professions that you can learn when you begin playing. Players who choose herbalism will be able to gather herbs from herb nodes, which are found in nearly every zone and dungeon in Azeroth. These herbs are needed for many recipes in other professions such as cooking, tailoring, leatherworking, and more. But the profession that gets the most use from herbalism is alchemy. So unless you want to purchase all of your herbs from the auction house as an alchemist, which can be very expensive, you will want to learn herbalism. As an herbalist, you will learn the spell Find Herbs, which will allow you to find nearby herbs on your minimap. However, if you die, you should know that Find Herbs will turn off after a death, so make sure you remember to turn it back on after you res. Two classes can benefit greatly from herbalism, and that's the Rogue and Druid. Rogues use herbs to create items such as Thistle Tea to restore energy. Druids will often choose herbalism because of their ability to collect an herb without having to dismount while in travel form. Pair that with the Tauren Druid, who has a plus 15 bonus to their herbalism through the cultivation ability, and you've got one heck of an efficient herbalist. Herbalism can be extremely lucrative, and that's because there is so much use for the herbs that you collect. The majority of these herbs are reagents for potions and flasks, and while I won't get into detail on those, I will show you the herbs you want to keep an eye on at your auction house. The herbs I would consider your money makers are Fade Leaf, Arthas Tears, Grom's Blood, Golden Sansom, Dreamfoil, Mountain Silver Sage, Plague Bloom, and Ice Caps. Now, keep in mind that when Phase 5 comes along, 3 herbs will be needed for the Encourage War Effort quest, and that's Arthas Tears, Purple Lotus, and Stranglekelp. This can potentially raise the prices of these 3 herbs before and after Phase 5 is launched. Your primary moneymaker, though, is the Black Lotus, and that's because its demand is extremely high, and the Black Lotus is extremely rare to find. It spawns in only 4 zones and in only 1 location per zone. These spawn points in each zone can be in different locations as well, and to make matters worse is the respawn timer is between 60 and 70 minutes. This means if you find one, don't bother looking for another in the same zone, and instead move on to the next one. Now, for the sake of not being long-winded, here are the zones and known spawn locations for Black Lotus. The final herb I will talk about is Bloodvine, which can be collected in Zul'Gurub, and only if the player has the Blood Scythe in their inventory. Bloodvine is a reagent for several blacksmith, leatherworker, and tailor recipes. Keep in mind, though, that this will not become available until Phase 4 when ZG is released. There's a couple ways you can boost your skill in herbalism that may help you when leveling this profession. So if you're looking for a small boost, look no further than the herbalist gloves crafted by leatherworkers and glove enchants provided by enchanters. Of course, you can trump any of those by simply being a Tauren, which gets the cultivation ability, but I already talked about that, so there you have it. Now let's get to why you're probably here, and let's talk about leveling your herbalism profession. Once you reach level 5, you will be able to learn your apprenticeship proficiency in herbalism for a price of 10 copper. To find an herbalist trainer, just travel to any major faction city or these towns and find the NPC listed here. Now that you're all trained up, let's go pick some herbs. From a skill of 1 to 50, you're going to be looking for Peace Bloom and Silverleaf. These are your starter herbs, so you will generally find most of these in your starting zones. From 51 to 75, you will begin collecting Earthroot and Mage Royal in these locations. Once you reach a skill of 50, you will be able to visit your trainer and learn your Journeyman level proficiency. From a skill of 75 to 100, you will want to collect Briarthorn, which is found near trees and can be found in plenty in these zones. From 100 to 115 is when you will gather Bruiseweed, which tends to grow near hills and some buildings in the following zones. At skill level 115 to 125, you will now gather Wild Steel Bloom, which is found near hills and cliffs. The last herb you will collect is King's Blood, and you will collect it from a skill of 125 to 160. Remember that once you reach a skill of 125, you will be able to learn your expert level proficiency from your profession trainer, and be sure to do so once you reach 150, as you will not be able to level beyond that skill level until you do. Now that you're an expert herbalist, you will be collecting Fade Leaf, which is found near trees, from a skill of 160 to 185. From 185 to 250, you will gather Khadgar's Whisker, which is also found near trees in these zones. Lastly, you will collect Fire Bloom in open terrain with a skill of 205 to 230. Remember again that you will want to learn your artisan level proficiency from your trainer no later than a skill level of 225, but can learn it as early as 200. These final herbs to collect are all found in open terrain, and you will begin with Sungrass from a skill of 230 to 250. From a skill of 250 to 270, you will collect Grom's Blood in these zones. Once you have reached a skill of 270, you will collect Dreamfoil until you reach a skill of 285. Finally, your last herb to collect is that of Plague Bloom, which you will level from 285 to a max profession skill of 300. Congratulations on leveling your herbalism to its completion. So now, happy Black Lotus farming! Thank you very much for watching this video presentation on the herbalism profession. If you enjoyed this guide, please like, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified of new content I create for WoW Classic. You can follow me on Twitter at @IcosialClassicWoW, as well as catch my weekend streams here on YouTube or Twitch. Links to those and my Discord are provided in the description below. If you're interested in some of my other content, you can click on any of these links here. Thank you again for watching, and yesterday I told my wife that I'll start arranging the herbs in alphabetical order from now on. She asked,
"Where would you find the time?"
Easy, it's right next to the sage.